I just think that overall, offensively, they're going to be much better than they were last year. Right. I think the reason why you would put the Eagles and the Rams above the Minnesota Vikings in the pecking order of contenders in the NFC is just because you feel better about the quarterbacks on those teams. You've seen both of those quarterbacks with the teams that they're on win the Super Bowl, right? So that's why you feel a little better about those teams than you do the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big fan of Brian Flores, and I think that, man, this season, especially with the personnel that they were able to bring in, I think that they're going to be even more successful on defense than they were last year. I think that on offense, adding Jordan Mason with Aaron Jones, I think that's a nice 1-2 punch. Again, the offensive line, I think, is going to be improved from last year. I think they're going to be better running the football. And because of the fact that they're going to be better running the football, I think they're going to do even more in play action than they did last year. And I just think that overall, when you look at this team, I think that, yeah, they are one of those teams that if J.J. McCarthy can just play good football, they're a team to me that are up there with, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Eagles, the Rams as Super Bowl contenders. But the reason why I just don't feel confident saying that right now is just because I don't know what we're going to get out of J.J. McCarthy. And it's great that, he played well in the preseason game the other day. That is great. But overall, he has to, transition that to the regular season. And if he's able to transition that to the regular season, this team's going to be a big time problem. I want to talk about the New England Patriots. I think the New England Patriots are going to be an improved football team this upcoming year. They improved their offensive line. They improved their running back room. They improved their receiver room. They improved their defense. They improved their coaching staff. What does that look like when it comes to how much more improved they're going to be? I think they're going to be an 8-9 win team, like at max, to be honest with you. But I feel good about 8 wins. When you look at this division, where are they going to end up in this division? I feel comfortable saying that they're, like, at minimum going to be the 3rd team in this division. And I do think that they have a chance to overtake the Miami Dolphins in this division because, me personally, this quarterback, I think Drake May, he might be the 2nd best quarterback in the division. I'm very willing to hear out people if they say Drake May is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. I think that Drake May is special. I think he has the opportunity to be within those top 5 quarterbacks. Like right now, when you talk about the top 4, you're talking about the regular 4 that everybody talks about. But he has a chance to really solidify himself as that 5th best quarterback. Maybe not this year, maybe not the next year, but give it 2, 3, 4 years. I think that this young man is that talented. I think that his arm strength is very impressive. He delivers the ball on time. I think that he is the most underrated runner, scrambler in the NFL. Like, I don't think he gets the type of credit and looked at the same as a guy like Jaden Daniels, even though I don't think the gap is big at all when you talk about what these guys can do when a play breaks down and running with the football. I think Drake May is incredible when he does that. And not only that, you saw that in the preseason game. There were 2 plays that he made where he escaped the pocket and used his legs to pick up a first down, or even in one case, a touchdown. So you like a lot of that. One thing I will say is when it comes to Mike Vrabel and the offensive approach that I think they're going to have this season, they did run the ball a lot on, or when they played this past weekend, they ran the ball a lot. So, I mean, that is a Mike Vrabel staple. And to be honest with you, I got to talk about this guy. If you're handing the ball off to Travion Henderson 20 times a game, you see him play the other day? That's a big play waiting to happen. They added some explosiveness to their offense when they drafted that young man. He could be Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, that's how good this young man could be. Coming out of Ohio State, he was a very, very highly touted prospect, right? I mean, I remember his freshman year, I thought that this guy was going to be Ezekiel Elliott for that program. He wasn't that, but Ezekiel Elliott was also a top 5 pick in the 2016 NFL draft. TreVeyon Henderson, though, he to me is a guy that I think day one, he's going to be a big time player and he's going to be very productive for the New England Patriots. And look, expect a lot of runs to go Will Campbell's way because he did some impressive stuff when he got out in space. That's going to be something that I think the Patriots are going to look to do. And man, you talk about adding a TreVeyon Henderson. I know Stephon Diggs tore his ACL last year, but when you compare Stephon Diggs to the receivers they had last year, I don't think there's much of a comparison. Kyle Williams is a guy that they drafted that a lot of people are very high on, right? I just think that overall, offensively, they're going to be much better than they were last year. And I do actually think that Josh McDaniels, as a play caller, right? I think as a head coach, we know what Josh McDaniels is. He's not a good head coach. But as a play caller, can he be a good play caller and can he lead Drake May in the right direction? Yeah, I do. And I think that, the Patriots, what they're going to want to do offensively, it's going to be predicated on whether or not this defense can hold up and keep games close, right? Because if they're not keeping games close, Drake May is going to have to drop back more than I think the Patriots would like him to do. I think that the Patriots want to be a team that runs the ball about 30 plus times a game. I mean, we've seen that that's what Vrabel has wanted to do. And they do have a little bit of a running back stable there to where you say, yeah, if their offensive line does a good enough job run blocking, they can lean on that running back room. There's no doubt in my mind about that, right? And build play action off that. I think that absolutely. And I also do want to see them utilize Drake May and utilize his running ability. Because when this guy gets out in the open field, I mean, he is lightning fast. Like when you talk about how certain quarterbacks run with the football, there's quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts where they're more powerful type of runners. And then you have your fast runners like Lamar and Jane Daniels. I think Drake May is more of that. But I am shocked that he doesn't get the credit he deserves when it comes to his ability to run with the football. Because I think it is very impressive. And I think that if they incorporate some of those things into this offense, that's something that I think is going to really help this offense, and especially the read option game. If they add some semblance of that to this offense, that could be very dangerous. I do like the addition of Milton Williams on the defensive side of the ball as well. I think that they definitely needed to add another guy there. And he's a guy that, very impactful for the Philadelphia Eagles. But, there is Eagles fans that I talked to that told me that the reason why Milton Williams was as good as he was because Jalen Carter was playing next to him. We'll see if that's true. I'm not willing to say that that's, 100% the reason why he was as good as he was. But I do think that at minimum, he could be a good player for this football team. Do you pay the type of money that you paid for Milton Williams for him to just be a good football player? No, but I just think that's the floor for him for this team, right? I think that in the upcoming years, they're going to have to try and add a legit superstar to this defense. They do have Christian Gonzalez, who's a superstar, no doubt about it. But I'm more so talking about in the trenches. I think they're going to have to look to add a superstar to their front seven because, I don't know if they have the juice there to really be an effective pass rush. And we'll see what they do from, a run defense standpoint. But I think that even with the flaws that I think they have on this team, I think overall they're going to be a much better team because of the things that I talked about, because of the fact offensive line, wide receiver, running back. I think the quarterback's going to take a year or two jump. I think the coaching staff's going to be much better. I think the attention to detail is going to be much better. And with all those things being the case, I just don't see them not taking a step forward this upcoming year. And, it's going to be on the Patriots to see, okay, Drake May, he took that year two leap. He is a legitimate franchise quarterback. Now, what do we do with that? Now you have to proceed with making this team even better in the upcoming years because you want to be a Super Bowl contender in Drake May's rookie contract. And, they're going to have 2 more years after this year to really build a contender. I don't think they did that this offseason, but when you look at what this team was last year and the step forward that I think they're going to make, I think it's going to be a big step forward in the right direction. That's all you're hoping for this upcoming season if you're the Patriots organization. Drake May's rookie year, you just wanted to see one thing. Do they have a quarterback that has shown flashes of being a potential franchise quarterback? They absolutely have that. Now, year 2, you want that quarterback to not just show you flashes, but to show you he is a legitimate franchise quarterback, and we're going to add pieces around him so we could see if he can win some more games than he did last year for this football team, even though quarterbacks don't win games. It's not a quarterback stat, but I think you guys understand what I mean, right? So year 2, if they can win a lot more games they did last year with the, I think, increase of talent, not a drastic increase, but it is I would actually say it's a drastic increase, but it's not to the extent where it's like, wow, this is the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles, one of those type of situations. It's just, yeah, they have improved this roster. So you want to see, okay, with this improved roster, can we get 8 wins? And if Drake May proves that he can get this team to 8 wins with the roster that they have, then you just got to start going all in and adding as many star players that you can add to this football team.